April 22nd, 1993. The rumblings of a television shakeup in New England. Longtime CBS affiliate WHDH-TV, owned by Dave Mugar's New England Television Corporation, announced that it had sold Channel 7 to Miami TV owner Ed Anson's Sunbeam Television, who ran WSVN, the top-rated Fox affiliate, thus marking an end to local ownership in the Boston area. We did mention about it in passing in our overview of WLVI 56. Click here to check out that link. But we would like to go into full detail about what New England Television got wrong and what Sunbeam Television got right. The Federal Communications Commission, when giving out licenses to television stations, always believe in stations serving in the public interest and necessity to its community. And Boston is no exception to that notion. Viewers in the 80s, no less, had to choose between two popular anchor teams: Jack Williams and Liz Walker over at WBZ-TV, the late Chet Curtis and Natalie Jacobson at WCVB Channel 5, yet for Channel 7, we started with Tom Ellis and Robin Young and ended with Adam Williams and Kim Casey. Boston's Channel 7 first signed on the air in 1948 as WNAC-TV. However, due to RKO's mismanagement, the license was revoked, and New England Television, a merger between the two challengers, took the license and formed a brand new television station, WNEV-TV, which went on the air on May 22, 1982.
Good morning. Today is Saturday, May 22nd, 1982, and this is WNEV-TV, Channel 7. Welcome to WNEV-TV's first day of broadcast service to the New England community.
Headed by the late David Mugar, the station was clearly a clone of its rival WCVB-TV, owned by Metro Media and later Hearst, and WBZ-TV, owned by Westinghouse's Group W. Throughout the summer after sign-on, their mantra was, quote, "There's a new day dawning," unquote, as Channel 7 was rebuilding its reputation and its identity as they brought in a few people, according to Terry Knopf in her book, The Golden Age of Boston Television. For general manager, they brought in Win Baker, and for news director, Bill Applegate, very well known for his dramatic news delivery in his news presentation. WNEV produced plenty of local programming, but their big splash was in September of 1982, when they took in Tom Ellis from WCVB and Robin Young, formerly of WBZ's Evening Magazine, to be the new anchor dream team for News 7. It was ambitious, their set was colorful, the visual intros gave viewers an alternative to channels 4 and 5.
News 7 at 6 is next, and tonight, election eve surprises for the two top candidates in the Democratic governor's race. The surprises come in our exclusive News 7 Counts poll.
Also tonight, our Newsbreakers team has an exclusive report on an incredible bank heist scheme in which some bank customers help the thieves without even knowing it. And Janet Langhart has the story of a special New England person. He helps people cope with the greatest pain they'll ever feel.
All of these stories and more coming up next on News 7 at 6.
This is New England's leading news team, Tom Ellis and Robin Young, with News 7.
Though not a flop, Knopf writes, the show was hardly a smashing success. Despite a brief uptick, the station quickly settled back into third place, well behind WBZ and WCVB. One woman wrote to the newspaper and asked, "They spent money on hiring anchors? Can they buy an audience?" Ouch. However, the viewers did prefer channels 4 and 5, as Channel 7's ratings were not that great. And by this point, Win Baker and Bill Applegate were replaced by former WBZ GM and news director Cy Yanoff and Jeff Rosser. Under Rosser's vision, the station newscast was retooled as the New England News, and Robin Young was replaced with Dion Willis, who later moved to Indianapolis, and at the breaking news desk, a young reporter named Kate Sullivan. At this point, Ellis had left the station and was replaced by Canadian anchor Dave Wright, who came from ATV. Around this time, Wright brought his trademarked popular CTV affiliate format Live at 5 to New England. The New England News was finally a contender in the New England news race. In 1987, Wright was paired with future former WABC anchor Deanna Williams, and a New England-focused version of Live at 5, leading to the New England news at 6 p.m. with new anchor teams of R.D. Saul and Kate Sullivan. The Even News with Dan Rather closed the block at 6:30, leading into Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy at 7 p.m. The station also had a facelift in terms of its on-air look. Channel 7 hired the branding team responsible for the NBC Peacock and the WGBH logo to create the dotted 7. This coincided with the station's acquisition of the rights to air the mass lottery drawings.
Watch Megabucks Live tonight on Channel 7.
Syndicated acquisitions were the big Merv Griffin game shows, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, as well as more shows from King World such as Inside Edition and from Paramount Hard Copy, as well as reacquiring Live with Regis and Kathy Lee from WLVI. Like its rivals, WNEV was committed to preempting lower-rated TV shows in favor of expensive yet local programming, such as Our Times, which was a weekend ripoff of WCVB's Chronicle, Talk of the Town, which ripped off People Are Talking, and was hosted by a figure, well, if you know, you know. Of course, WNEV had one of the few locally produced kids' morning shows, and the only locally produced daily weekday kid morning show. Hosted by Broadway star Liz Calloway and Scott Reese, news was handled by Kathy Abel and Todd Gross did the weather. Ready to Go first debuted in March of 1988 and ran until 1990, but by this point the show was moved to Saturday mornings and it finally concluded its run in 1991. To make room for that, the station aired CBS This Morning on a 1-hour tape delay until early 1990 when it made room for the return of Regis and Kathy Lee. Throughout the 1980s, WNEV was third place in the ratings, behind WBZ-TV and WCVB, especially in the news race between Eyewitness News and News Center 5. By 1990, Mugar bought WHDH Radio and thus rechristened the station as WHDH-TV.
Watts of radio power. Channel 7 is now WHDH-TV.
Channel 7 had gone through some station brandings and slogans from A New Day Dawning to We Put New England First to even 7 nights, as well as 7 people and the one to watch. And yes, due to its affiliation, the station often did promos coinciding with CBS's Get Ready campaign for 1989 and 1990, with the latter set at a diner. The early 90s recession was hard enough for every television station in the country, including Channel 7. The 5 p.m. newscast was replaced with a rerun of Rescue 911, and New England television took loss after loss after loss. It was time for a change. Enter Ed Anson. Anson's Sunbeam Television Corporation became the industry's new buzz. WSVN lost NBC to become an independent. WSVN had settled on making its news department, headed by Joel Cheatwood, the center of the station. In fact, the station was rechristened from South Florida's hometown station to South Florida's news station, and it worked. Can this style of news translate to a traditional market like Boston, if not New England?
WHDH-TV Boston. This is News 7 at 5:30.
Top story, the sale of WHDH-TV, Channel 7. A Massachusetts native is set to take the reins, saying the commitment to news and the community will continue.
Channel 7 owner David Mugar announced the sale this afternoon. Our business editor, Mary Ann Kane, tells us what's behind the sale and what it means to you, our viewers.
Sanchez, Daniels, love it. This is Channel 7 News at 6. Live from WHDH-TV Boston.
In November of 1993, viewers took notice of the new Channel 7. First with the hire of Des Moines anchor Kim Kerrigan, who paired up with R.D. Saul, while Marjorie Reedy did the noon and 5:30 newscasts. Mr. Strong became the station's health specialist, along with his anchor duties. But the toned-down version of WSVN model proved to be the jolt that Boston TV needed. By 1994, R.D. Saul had left the station, and Kim anchored solo until the hire of former WAGA anchor John Marlar and then-wife Kathy Marshall. Sadly, another Chet and Natalie was out of the question for WHDH. By then, due to the deal that Westinghouse made with CBS, in which WBZ-TV4 became the new CBS affiliate in Boston, Sunbeam had a choice to make. Switch to Fox, which was rumored, or switch to NBC? Given Sunbeam's history with NBC, it was a reunification by force. By the late 90s, Marler left Channel 7 and was replaced by former WBZ anchor Randy Price, who was later paired with Caterina Bandini and later Francis Rivera. Kim Casey, fresh out of doing a syndicated show in the 90s, did mornings. What made it work was the news and their alliterations, much like their sister. And that's when everything went south between NBC and Channel 7. Again. In 2004, Jay Leno announced he was leaving The Tonight Show and was giving it over to Conan O'Brien. But Jeff Zucker, who didn't want to give up Leno that easy, had a crazy yet genius idea. Have Jay host an hour-long talk show at 10 p.m., leading into the 11 p.m. newscast Monday through Fridays. Everyone thought it was a good idea. Every affiliate was on board. Every affiliate except WHDH.
Starting in September, you're going to be able to watch 7 News at 10 right here on Channel 7. So for those of you who are early to bed, early to rise, wish you could get your news a little earlier, Francis and I will bring you a full hour of...
In April of 2009, through Kim Casey, the station announced it was preempting the Jay Leno Show to bring a simulcast of its primetime newscast from WLVI onto the main station. Why would they do that? Well, because Jay Leno sucks. And people here hate him. Local news is a moneymaker, and a strong lead-in proves that viewers would tune into the late news after watching a scripted drama. However, NBC wasn't backing down on that Leno experiment, and they told Channel 7 to fall in line, which they eventually did, and it proved to be a disaster in the making. Well, it wouldn't be in the making, it would be just proved to be a disaster. So was Anson right? Apparently so, as NBC took their lumps, and as the network tried to win both Leno and Conan, Leno got the 11:35 slot back, but that didn't stop NBC. A few years later, we all knew what happened. NBC wanted to buy WHDH from Sunbeam, but refused due to adding WLVI, so the network built a new station around its cable news service, NECN, and therefore pulled the affiliation altogether. On January 1st, 2017, after almost 60 years as a network affiliate, WHDH Channel 7 became a news-intensive, independent station. Ed Anson died in July of 2020, and yet he had the last laugh in terms of his deals with the network. Here is the sad truth. For Mugar, it was about quality over quantity, while for Anson, it was the exact opposite. The history of Channel 7 has its ups and downs, from RKO to New England Television to Sunbeam, but seeing how this marks 3 decades of the Anson ownership, one must be honest. First, no matter who's behind the desk, the news is always centered. Sunbeam also found a winning formula. The news director of Joel Cheatwood, the score of Chris Crane, and the booming voice of Channel 7 Scott Chapin. The 3 C's of Sunbeam. Cheatwood, Crane, and Chapin. Second, quality is expensive. Under Mugar, Channel 7 put quality into its programming. However, the ratings did not justify this, and thus the finances suffered. Third, the aggressive marketing and new branding of Channel 7 was key to boost the ratings. It's been a while since Channel 7 has declared its independence from being a network affiliate, and while we look back at how the station first launched in 1982, one could wonder, will we see another new day dawning or dusking in New England?